If 3 times the tan squared of x plus 2 times the secant squared of x is equal to 9, find the tangent of x. Well, this problem's a little bit tricky because we have a tangent here and a secant here, and it'd be nicer if we just had a single trigonometric function. Off to the side here, I'm going to work with what's known as the Pythagorean identity, and that Pythagorean identity is sine squared x plus cosine squared x is equal to 1. That's easily seen from the winding function. But this does not involve, unfortunately, the tangent and the secant. However, if I divide both sides of this equation by the cosine squared x, watch what happens. Here we get sine squared divided by the cosine squared. That's the tangent squared of x. If we divide this term right here by cosine squared x, we get 1. If we divide this term by cosine squared x, we get the secant squared of x. So now notice we've got tan squared and secant squared in the formula, and we are going to be able to use this formula here at the bottom to help us solve the original question. So let's write, first of all, what we're working with here, which is 3 times tan squared of x plus 2 times the secant squared of x is equal to 9. And now let's replace the secant squared with the tangent squared plus 1. So this will be 3 times tan squared of x plus 2 times tan squared x plus 1 is equal to 9. Let's distribute this 2 into the tan squared and the 1. That is going to give us 3 times the tangent squared of x plus 2 times the tangent squared of x plus 2 is equal to 9. Well, we can take 3 times the tangent squared of x plus 2 times the tangent squared of x, replace that with 5 times the tangent squared of x plus 2 is equal to 9. Next thing we can do is we can subtract 2 from both sides of this equation. When you subtract 2 from the left-hand side of the equation, you get 5 times the tangent squared of x. When you subtract 2 from the right-hand side of the equation, you get 7. Next step, we can divide both sides of this equation by 5. When you divide the left-hand side of the equation by 5, you get 10 squared x. When you divide the right-hand side of the equation by 5, you get 7/5. The next step is to take the square root of both sides of this equation. When you take the square root of the left-hand side, you get the tangent of x, and that is exactly what we're looking for. When you take the square root of the right-hand side of the equation, you get plus or minus the square root of 7/5. So that is the solution to this problem. When you want to find out what the tangent of x is, it is plus or minus the square root of 7/5.